All right. So one of the last things that we did when you and the family were in New York for Christmas was go see Star Wars. Finally, we saw it.
Oh yeah.
And what did you think about it?
I liked the movie. I thought that it was pretty good. I mean, the plot wasn't super daring or anything. They definitely weren't trying to kill off any main characters and have some big twist towards the end. Like you knew who was gonna win when you bought the ticket. You knew how it was gonna end up. But I mean, spoiler. We gotta have spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Well, the movie's been out for so long, by 2 weeks at this
Whatever.
point.
Whatever, man. People don't always go to the movie theater. Sometimes they bootleg that shit off the internet like I try to do, but it's fine.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
spoiler warning.
yeah, like I personally didn't like look into the movie at all and finding out that Ray was a Palpatine and could use like force lightning. I was like, this is some badass shit right here. God damn. But I mean, I thought that was really interesting. I really liked the audio. I really liked the visual effects. Story is halfway decent. Could definitely have been better. Um, yeah, like and being an IMAX, that was pretty cool too. Because like when ships were arriving out of hyperspace or like just a loud noise. Like normally it would sound like peaking, so like the audio is disrupted because it's so loud that the speakers themselves can't handle
Hmm.
them. But being an IMAX, it was awesome. Like it sounded really good.
So, what would you rate it out of 10?
7.5, maybe 8.
7.5 to 8? You got
Yeah,
to pick one. Pick a number.
7.75.
775.
Correct.
That's what you give it. Okay. Uh, okay, I'll give my take. I
Mm.
thought that seeing it in IMAX was incredible. It's been probably 10 years since we went to an IMAX movie, and it was
Oh yeah.
just incredible. Like you said, the sound, the the colors, it was awesome. And that was the best part about it. I thought the movie was not good. Um, for a couple reasons. So it felt to me like the last two seasons of Game of Thrones, whereas things were like forced together to create an ending. Like they knew how they wanted it to end, but they had to get there a lot faster than possible. So they just forced things together, and um, yeah, that's like if I had to describe it in one word, it just felt forced. Um, no pun intended with the using the
Yeah.
force. Um, so and you talk about the one big plot twist, which is Rey being Emperor Palpatine's granddaughter. It's they Disney did like a trailer, a teaser of just Emperor Palpatine laughing.
I did hear about that.
That was like a year or so ago, and at that moment, I knew that Rey was a Palpatine because
Well,
they had been the big mystery of the whole saga was who is Rey.
hmm.
And as soon as they said that, I was like, "Oh, yep, she's a Palpatine." So I was not surprised, not taken aback at all. And of course, I compare everything to Game of Thrones. So, because I'm reading the books, and the first 5 seasons of Game of Thrones were like the best television ever created, arguably. And
I haven't seen it.
the reason why it's so good is because of the emotional journey that you go through, either reading it or watching the show. Like you grow to love these characters, and then they get killed, or their brother gets killed, or they go through some hardship, and you, as the consumer, as either the reader or the watcher, you go through you grieve with them, or you have to go through the emotions that they're going through as well. But in the whole trilogy of Star Wars, the new trilogy, there was none of that. Like it was so predictable, and I don't know, just I just wish there was more. So
Well, tell them what ended, like what you thought a better ending would have been as compared to Rey just beating Emperor Palpatine and Kylo Ren dying, giving her life back. Really,
yeah, I honestly I don't remember what I said.
Jesus H. So you said that if Rey were to have died, and if the Rebel Army were then forced to not only deal with her passing, but have to rally and just
Oh,
fight back just on their own.
oh, right, yes. So what? Yeah, so if we were to redo this last movie, I think it would be really cool if in like the first third of the movie, Kylo and Rey meet and they fight, and Kylo kills Rey, cuts her in half, fucking kills her. She's dead for sure, dead because they, like
Oh
a lot of
yeah,
times
no,
in
no one coming back through the Force and all this bullshit.
right, right, she's dead for sure, and then Kylo cements himself because he was kind of like back and forth between wanting to be so on the dark side, but then like people are trying to pull him back to the light side, and that would fully cement him in the dark side. And then Kylo goes and gets the fleet from Emperor Palpatine, and then the good guys have to rally behind Rey's death and gather all the might of the galaxy, and then meet in this one epic battle. And you don't know who's going to win. That's what would make it exciting. You would have the emotional toll of seeing Rey get killed by this guy, um, Kylo Ren, and uh, he would be I think he would be more of a convincing villain because I knew that he was going to be brought to the light side from the very beginning.
Yeah,
It's like this
yeah,
guy,
you can kind of put that together. Yeah,
right? This guy, they're so that's one thing that felt forced to me was him coming over to the light side. Um, so him being cemented into the dark side creates this a better villain, and I think a good villain really makes a piece of art, like whether it's cinema or books or whatever. I think a good villain really drives it, and a perfect example of that is Thanos from
oh yeah,
from the Avengers, and he was a very good villain. He was conflicted. He did some bad things, but he was convinced of the reasons of why he was doing that, and he thought he was doing the right thing. Um, so like, it's all just shades of gray, and I think
yeah,
that that's really cool and more entertaining for me than just bad guys are bad, good guys are good, good guys win, which is essentially what
yeah.
this movie was.
I mean, like even with Solo, Avengers, like Infinity War, and then whatever the last one was called, I don't remember what it was. But like
End game.
watching, oh yeah, Endgame, watching. in Infinity War, watching like everybody turn to dust, and it's just like back to like the original like four or however many characters, like, and then you go through like the whole movie of Endgame, and they all get brought back. Like that, literally, like I was gonna stand up like in the theater and be like, "Fuck yeah!" Let's go. Like
Right.
that was awesome. And like I definitely agree with a movie needing a good villain, and that really made me think of like The Dark Knight and the
Mm,
Joker,
yes.
because the Joker just doesn't give a fuck. He's just out here like literally just throws a match full like onto a pile of money soaking in gasoline. Like he does not care. Like that is just so crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. The Joker is a great villain, and that was a great movie.
Like I probably have watched that like 9, 10, 15 times, whatever. It's fine.
Hmm. Okay, well, there's our. So okay, my score,
Oh yeah,
I would give
yeah,
it like a 4.8 out of 10.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Like like the visual effects and the like the sound effects really picked it up for me, because like I like the little subtleties like that. Like
hmm
I really like sound design and the stuff that I make personally. But like when they were going to wherever the hell Palpatine was at, and they're like they had to like fly through like all this shit,
hmm
it was that visually was stunning.
I
Like
agree.
I really like that, and so that really helps my score a lot. But I can understand story is what you're selling here,
hmm
cousin,
hmm
and they're not too keen on that.
Yeah. Yep. Well, there's our review of Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.